cultural competence, and healing racism. She has facilitated development workshops, trainings, and storytelling presentations for educational, nonprofit, government, and corporate institutions in the USA and internationally since 1989. A certified professional mediator, she holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in Communication from Aurora University and a Master of Arts in Cross-Cultural Studies from the University of Houston-Clear Lake. Additionally, she is co-author of The Cultural Detective African American. She has extensive training and leadership experience in intercultural and diversity fields. Kelli has recently joined the organization's Society for Intercultural Education, Training and Research since 2002, as well as served on the organizing committee for the Global Community Dialogue on Leadership, Diversity, and Change since 2003. Ladies and gentlemen, Kelli McLoud, Schingen.
It's a peculiar thing, the African American experience. Is Africa home? Is the United States home? Where is my mother country? George Simmel, German sociologist, defines a stranger as someone who is a member of a society, but not directly attached to that society. He goes on to say that a stranger is someone who is met with suspicion because of the unpredictability of their behavior. I suppose that that's what has led us to seeing ourselves as strange, and for others, seeing us as strangers. I want to be seen in the way that I see myself. Sawubona. Sawubona. It's a Swahili word for I see you. Sawubona. The appropriate response is yebo sawubona. I see you, we see you. So when I say sawubona, I want you guys to say yebo sawubona. You with me? All right, let's see. It's a large group up in here. Sawubona. Sawubona. Yebo sawubona. So there's a beauty in seeing people and wanting to be seen in the way that you want to be seen. This is a video from the Global Oneness Project that gives you a little bit more information about what that phrase means, sawubona, and the spirit of being able to see people in the way that they want to be seen.
When people were still able to really see each other. In fact, the word says we see. So it's not a single eye person. That my eyes are connected to a dimension of reality we call ancestors. So my seeing includes my ancestors. My seeing also includes the divinities that are part of the celestial spheres of reality. So Sawubona says we see you. And the response is yebo sawubona, yes we see you too. Because it's a dialogue. Seeing is a dialogue. It establishes you as a witness to some phenomenon that can also be a witness to your own presence. When two human beings meet in this gesture of sawubona, the acknowledgement is we see each other. That becomes an agreement because we're obligated from that point to affirm the reality that seeing has empowered us to investigate our mutual potentials for life. So it invites us to communicate. Why are we, if we're seeing each other, why are we here at the same time?
So when you think about being seen and meeting people for the first time, what you want them to see is not just your package, right? You don't want them to see not just your age. Okay, I said package, you ain't got to joke about it. You know what I mean. That one didn't get about me either. All right, Daddy. But when you want to be seen, you want them to not just see your external, is what I mean. Y'all know what I was talking about. But you don't want them to just see that part of you. You want them to see so much more of you. So the part of being able to truly be seen means that you want for people to see you for who you are, who each one of us is our story. And we have to be able to take the time in order to hear the story, in order to know who it is that we're dealing with. So what's your story? Who are you? How do you want to be seen? When I do work in Estonia or in Finland, people often think that I'm Ethiopian. They may even think that I'm mixed race, right? So once again, it's how people see me is based on their cultural experiences. Why? Because the majority of people who look like me may be something else where I am. So it's really important for me, for people to see me as who I am, because they could misrepresent me or misunderstand me and my experience. I promise that's not me. They misunderstand me and my experience because they are seeing me as something else. But I really want them to see me. There's so many different stereotypes that people have of particular religions, ideology, race, or ethnicity. And while I might think that being black is the most beautiful thing on the absolute planet because everybody can copy us, let's. Right? Huh, right? Right? So while I might think that that's really cool, in some other experiences it may not be as cool, right? And some people may see me and see me as a particular stereotype. I might frighten them, I may make them uncomfortable, I may seem like the angry black female. I know all of these things exist because I've been treated as those things at different times, but I feel like if you only meet me and see only black female or African American woman or just African American, you miss my Matryoshka dolls. You miss the fact that I'm pretty funny, right? Say right? Right? So you'll miss that. You'll miss the fact that I'm a mother. You'll miss the fact that I'm a wife. You'll miss the fact that I am a fierce ride or die kind of friend. And so you'll miss all of that stuff if you only see me as this very one-dimensional human being. I don't want you to see me like that. I have zero desire to see you like that. So every time we meet, I want your story. We talked about our interpretations, how we see people when we make up a story about who they are. It's not fair. It's not right. And yet it's the thing that we do consistently every single day. There's this thing called the ladder of inference. And we begin to take certain bits of information about what we see. We add meaning to it. We then draw conclusions, and then we begin to act. And all of that happens in 0.6 seconds, so it happens all the time. Every day, all day. So the question that I have for you is, how do you want to be seen? So strong community, who are you, right? So I asked you, who are you, who am I, right? In all of those particular identity bubbles, where you got a chance to say, this might be how I choose to identify myself. But now let's think about the cultural iceberg. What's the thing that sank the Titanic? The iceberg, right? So what part of the iceberg sank the Titanic? The bottom, right? So it wasn't the top. But on that cruise ship, at that time, the crew thought that it was the part that they could see that was going to create conflict, right? So when we think about people as human beings, as people, as a cultural iceberg, we often think that the things that we can see is the thing that is going to either bring us together or create conflict. And while at the end of the day, it's rarely that. It's usually the stuff that exists beneath the water. We cannot see are those things that will actually give us the most difficult time. What might be some of those things that we cannot see that will create conflict? Anybody? Sorry? Belief, absolutely. Our belief systems. What else? Personality, yes ma'am. What else? Sorry? Go ahead. Worldview, absolutely. What else? Is there some hands up there? Now chicken. Okay, come over here. Okay, you have a hand, yes.
Their past.
Their past, absolutely. All of these things are critical in knowing if you can connect or disconnect with somebody. So I'll just use a really quick example. I want to be conscious of my time. A really quick example of my own experience. So I'm married to this white guy from Wisconsin. Okay? So and I was born and raised in Chicago. I grew up on the south side of Chicago, predominantly African American side, not in the south side Irish side. Or the south side Polish side of town. It was the south side black side of town. excuse me, and my husband is of German-American ancestry, living in Wisconsin, a small town called Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. When I first met my husband, I just thought he was a nice guy. So when I saw him, I was like, here's a young white guy, he's nice, that's cool, right? And when he started showing interest in me, I was like, no, you don't understand. I don't have time for this. I'm trying to marry Denzel Washington, right? I'm waiting that marriage out. Clearly, it's not gonna last forever. It's a Hollywood marriage, right? So I'm waiting for Denzel, or at least someone who looks like my dad. And so my husband is like, yeah, that's not gonna work for me. We're gonna be together, me and you. Yeah, that's awesome. And so I'm thinking, all right, cool, I'll give this a whirl. And all of the things that I thought were going to create conflict for us are not the things that created conflict, right? So I'm thinking, man, we're gonna have a hard time. This white guy, he don't get me. We just don't get me. He don't understand. Right? But that's not it. So the things that I saw that I thought would disconnect us did not. The things that brought us together were everything that existed below the waterline. So we had the same religion, we had the same beliefs, we both wanted to raise children in a very similar way. We loved to travel, we loved learning about different people and different things. Everything that was important to us existed below the waterline. So what I thought was going to prevent us from being together, which is what existed above the waterline, was not it. So we want to make sure that when we come into contact with people who are like us, or not like us, that we remember our humanity. So the question I have for us is, are we these people who can walk by as humans with no humanity? Or are we representations in different ways of God and the Spirit that we must not lose faith in humanity? Humanity is an ocean. If a few drops of the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty. Is that us? There's an opportunity here. There's an opportunity to be connected in the spirit of oneness of humanity. You guys have an opportunity that I didn't have when I was younger. I hate to bring an age thing in this, but you do. You have the greatest access to the world in a way that I never even imagined. Not just around you, but you can pop up in the computer and have stories from people from all over the world if you're willing to listen. But to be a story listener requires a great deal. It requires you to be, once again, globally strong. And being globally strong means that you have to be strong in identity, strong in community, and strong in humanity. And I believe that there's hope, and I see you. I see each and every one of you. And I hope that I can infuse in you the spirit of the oneness of humanity and hope that you then go out and see others. Never doubt that a thoughtful group of committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, that's all that ever has. Thank you so much for your time.